All right, this is a rough. Got me a video camera. All right, got two of them. I got the tapes. All right. Since y'all won't give me due process and equal protection, and y'all keep locking me up, like I said, this is from the 2010 census. All right. I was a census day with Gov.O'Malley, Kamenetz, Pastor Jerome Stevens, the Brent Jones from the Baltimore Sun. Y'all videotaped me and took videos when I was there, all right? This is where we at. Y'all deny me due process and equal protection. I'm an independent filmmaker and a documentarian. I'm a caterer. I had a movie called Letters Design, and I was working with Rob Fix. I do not longer work with Rob Fix. Everything that Rob Fix got is going to the federal investigation. I emailed Rob Fix, told him I was done with him. He's had 13 years to make this movie, and he ain't did nothing with this shit for 13 years. So I'm going to do it myself. Everything that Rob Fix got, he's supposed to give back to me. He don't give it back to me, I'm filing a lawsuit. When I file a lawsuit, it's going to be Rob Fix, Governor Hogan, Governor O'Malley, Scott Shellenberger, and the individuals that participated in illegally incarcerating me. Now, Scott Shellenberger normally lied to the grand jury, and he took false evidence in front of the grand jury. Right here, it says clearly I was Shorty Goes to Annapolis. Let me do it like this. You go to my YouTube page, this one right here. This gentleman works for GOP Carter. I'm here about the prison industry. I'm a prisoner's right advocate. I work with James MacArthur.
Oh, A.F. MacArthur.
All right.
She represents.
Right, yeah.
Dwayne Davis?
Yes, I'm Dwayne Davis.
Okay, nice to meet you.
All right, bottom line is this is where we at. I've been doing this documentary, this movie about the prison industry since Governor O'Malley was a city councilman. Okay, I'm a caterer. I work for all of y'all.
Okay.
Fed a lot of y'all here. Maybe not you, but I've been doing this since 1997. All right. Long story short, I got I'm trying to get a Whistleblowers Act I sent to GOP Carter a month ago, and she hasn't responded to me yet because they locked me up for making this movie and documentary about Governor O'Malley and the play-to-pay politics here in the state of Maryland.
Now, which email did you send it to?
I mailed it to her on mail. If you go
district office or
here and here.
Only reason why I say it because I'm the chief.
Now that's GOP Carter's chief of staff, all right? So GOP Carter had this. GOP Carter had this. Teller Branch had this. The Maryland Black Caucus had this. Mayor Pugh had this. This was about the black people selling out the black community, all right? And they talking about they champions for justice. No, they not. You seen Karen York in there. That's when Karen York was working for Kurt Anderson and Nicole Mundo was working for GOP Carter. I've been down in Annapolis long time. Now, I'm denied due process and equal protection because I was making a movie about your politics. I was making a movie about ceasefire. Can't have a ceasefire if you don't end the war on drugs. Now, since y'all won't give me access to the court, I'm gonna keep pissing y'all the fuck off. Yeah, we're gonna put the mirror in your face. That's the Public Justice Center, all right? I went to the Public Justice Center and I gave them all this information about filing a class action lawsuit. Now, the Public Justice Center filed a class action lawsuit when y'all chained y'all's motherfuckers together down at the protest in the Inner Harbor, but you won't file a class action lawsuit to end the war on drugs. You won't file a class action lawsuit to stop police brutality. Y'all sat here and locked me up because I'm a caterer. I've been in all y'all's houses. I know your business. I know Governor O'Malley. I know Schaefer. I know all of y'all. I know everybody. So this is what the grand jury didn't get to see. See, y'all white people is permitted to go in front of the grand jury and lie on black people. And this is what you did. Because on February the 6th, Super Bowl Sunday, is when I did this shit. Here it go.
Evidence. Do not destroy this evidence. Because it's right here in your courthouse steps. Like a dog, I mark my territory. Can't show love. That means you gon' need more love than a whole lot. But hold up. Talking out the side of your mouth. What's gonna let niggas know? When you mad at your house, when they mad at your spouse, told them it was suicide. But you and I, folks gonna try. I got balls like cannonballs, y'all. Get it on. This is my movie, y'all. We're gonna stand up and fight for our rights. This is a quiet riot. Can you feel it, Tony? I can feel it coming in the air tonight. That all deals are legal mail. This is the voice of the people, y'all. And don't get mad at me. This is strictly business. It ain't personal.
I put that toilet in front of the Towson courthouse, and then I hung out dirty laundry. And I'm getting ready to hang out dirty laundry again.
6th. This is my contribution to America for Black History Month.
Black History Month.
All right? Stop killing our kids. Trying to save our world and make our world a better place. It's a non-violent, peaceful demonstration about racism and the way you treat the underclass in America, the illegal war on drugs, and how you just disenfranchising our population and destroying our family. So I'm putting you out there like dirty laundry. Everybody know where I'm at.
February the 6th, not the 7th. Y'all didn't take this in front of the grand jury.
Repeating Black history.
Black History Month. In Towson.
Taught me how to do this. So, just hanging you out there like dirty laundry. Commissioner Belfield got this. Congressman Cummings got this. And this is about my rights and my freedom. And I'm asking for my freedom. It's about playing Monopoly and the people that play games with your lives, like Karen Parks from Fox 45. This is the Minority Report. This is about the Republican agenda.
The Democratic agenda. Democrats and Republicans is eating off this.
Disenfranchise our population. That's the Attorney General. That's your illustrious mayor.
That's Mayor Stephanie Wallace Blake before she had NutraSweet.
And that's your city councilman. And that's a letter to the FBI asking for the city of Baltimore to have an open hearing about my illegal incarceration. That's Congressman Young from 92Q. This is black on black racism too. Shows my laws, the laws you broke. Shows the people that I was making a movie. It shows everything that needs to be seen. Shows the forged checks. It shows monopoly in your cash cow. Taxation without representation is illegal in this nation. And you got taxes. You got my money. You want...
Taxation without representation is a violation of my constitutional rights. I'm out $2.6 million in lost wages and income. Scott Shellenberger knowingly lied to the grand jury, presented false evidence to the grand jury, and stole my property and my evidence. I'm a whistleblower. I'm a whistleblower in the courts. Congressman Cummings got my application. Congressman Cummings got my evidence. Harry Spikes know everything that I'm doing. Harry Spikes got it. Pastor Jerome Stevens got it. Senator Van Hollen got it. Governor Hogan got it. Brian Frosh got it. Y'all been denying me access to the court, and y'all keep playing with me. That's why I shut y'all shit down. That's why y'all let me mic check the room. Y'all not gonna let me go to court. Y'all not gonna take me in front of the grand jury, but when we do.
Nobel Peace Prize, well, I'm applying for it too. The people of America, human rights violations in America. Peace Prize, I want the Peace Prize. Chief State's Attorney, I got crimes that you committed.
That's State's Attorney.
Just like Shellenberger and Nathan.
That's Chief State's Attorney Shellenberger. All right, he got this. See me? That's Shellenberger's office. So if Shellenberger had this evidence, Shellenberger had that information, why did you lock me up? This was blowing the whistle on Shellenberger and black bodies. Y'all just seen how the Baltimore County Police Department treat black people when they slam that black woman. This ain't the only one. J. Wendell Gordon knew about this in 2012. I gave it to him in front of the Trayvon Martin rally on the courthouse, on the City Hall steps. Warren Brown knew about this. All right. Malcolm Ruff, Marilyn Mosby. Marilyn Mosby been shielding this since 2014. Now she went down to St. Louis claiming that she want to be this progressive state's attorney. No, she got 10,000 cases that she's sitting on. Shellenberger got another 10,000. Y'all got like 20,000 cases that y'all gonna have to reverse and remand because you knowingly presented false evidence to the grand jury. 2020, Governor Hogan got an Accountability Act. Governor Hogan got to deal with that Accountability Act. Shellenberger, anything that Shellenberger goes down in Annapolis and testifies for, I'm going to write a letter to Governor Hogan on Monday morning. Anything that Mosby and Shellenberger testify will be null and void. Until you rectify my case, until I get justice, that shit don't matter. I got the federal government watching what I do. Y'all watching what I do every day. But the federal government, I got a federal ID number, 2111907. That means the Department of Justice, I was a whistleblower when you locked me up. You locked up a whistleblower and you destroyed my evidence. I got my shit on tape. Just like the Watergate. I not only got it on tape.
Talking about you, dog, and your racist behavior. This is what it was about. This case right here. And it says who it was about and what it was about. That's Judge Turnbull. They denied me access to the court. It's a violation of the Constitution of the United States.
Now, Judge Turnbull was shielding the corruption, and Judge Turnbull had this in 2009. Judge Turnbull's son, Bobby Zirkin, and Bobby Zirkin's law firm. If you look up Operation Greylord, they are running a criminal enterprise in Baltimore County. Governor O'Malley put 9 judges in place. Them 9 judges had 5 friends, so he had 45 judges in place. Renter's Court, Juvenile Court, yeah, Special Courts, yeah. He had 45 judges in his pocket, like Operation Greylord. Now, Governor Hogan said he wanted to go after accountability. Well, Governor Hogan doing the same thing. He just reinventing his corruption machine. Now, if you put them state prosecutors in the state's attorney's office, you're going to see the corruption that I'm talking about. Like I said, I got everything on film.
I was making a movie, and now the Supreme Court got this. I was making a movie. No law against making a movie. Nobody never made a movie about racism. It was about the inmates in the Lake County jail and the illegal incarceration. I'm a jail.
You got 150 inmates in Lake County, Illinois that asked to be heard. That makes it a class action lawsuit. You got 135 inmates in Baltimore County being abused by the Baltimore County Detention Center and Spring Grove Medical Facility. I did an 1.5-hour interview at Spring Grove Medical Facility. Opioid abuses. Yeah. We talking about medication using inmates for lab rats. Now, if you contact Peter Angelos, the Angelos law firm, I sent him a letter while I was in jail asking to file a class action lawsuit. I asked my lawyer to file a class action lawsuit. Mr. Bailey, you won't do it. Jerome Joyce won't do it. Brian Frosh won't do it. Y'all making a lot of money off of black bodies, and that's why y'all feeding this fear about the violence. This violence is the root of the war on drugs. The ceasefire and the war on drugs. When you had prohibition, you was killing white kids. You ended prohibition, so you stopped killing white kids. But it's profitable to kill black America because you get one to go to jail and one to go to the graveyard. You get a twofer. Now,
I snitched. So instead of turning on the inmates, I turned on the officers. You had me in the belly of the beast. So let's discuss the money that you spend. How much money did you give that man? We're going to talk about campaign financing. We're going to talk about Dutch. See that, Dutch? American Injustice.
Dutch Ruppersberger, Senator Cardins, Mikulski, Cummings, Raskin, Brown. All of y'all know about this. Period.
Chief White House correspondent for the New York Times, Joe Colvin, White House reporter for the Associated Press, and Philip.
So what I did is I used social media for social change: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and MySpace. And I can show you everything I've been doing since 2006. To dismantle a master's house, you got to use the master's tools. The master uses a camera. He uses a camera. He uses a camera. He uses a camera. But Shorty gonna use a toilet. I'm gonna shit on you. Y'all made me famous for toilets, and I'm gonna run with that shit. Y'all made me famous for toilets. I'm gonna flush your careers down the hole. I'm gonna flush it. I'm hooking up with Starbucks, and we're going to be doing a homeless program. We'll be hooking up with Starbucks. And like I said, I use Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Social media for social change. That's Periscope. All right? That shows you who's been watching my shit. That's the Baltimore. See who's been watching it? Now the Baltimore Brew is watching this. The Baltimore Brew is watching this because the Baltimore Brew, Fern Shin, been knowing about this since the beginning. Fern Shin took the first picture in January 2011 when I left the toilet in front of the school board. And it was about the asbestos and the lead and the overcharging of the contractors. It was about the corruption in your school board and the money that y'all was wasting. Y'all doing these 21st century schools. Well, I blew the whistle on the schools back in, 1991, 92, 1993. You can look it up. GSA versus TMP Engineering. I blew the whistle on the asbestos and lead companies. I worked in Towson. I did your Towson High School. I was a project manager. I did a lot of work in Baltimore. I did a work on the streets, the piping and the plumbing. We told y'all to fix that shit in the 90s, but y'all knew about it. Your Department of Public Works. I was a project manager. All right, now the Baltimore Brew, Fern Shin, I gave her a yellow envelope before I got locked up. I got the envelope from her when I got out of jail and gave her a white envelope. You go to Fern Shin and tell Fern Shin to talk about the contents of that envelope. Fern Shin been shielding the corruption too, just to keep her Baltimore Brew relevant. She give you enough information, but she won't break the story. She'll open up the door, shine the light on it, but won't finish what she started. Fern Shin, Jamie Costello, Tony Pan, Bob Turt, Richard Scher, Mark Marion, Christian Schaefer, Ian Duncan, Diana Suggs. I got a whole thing about the media called Portraits of a Letter. That's one of the storyboards that the state stole from me. Portraits of a Letter. That's Itzy, all right? And Itzy won't say a word to me when I'm out in Baltimore County because Baltimore County is the culprit of this. Baltimore County Council been signing off on a lot of shit. Y'all got the dude that's running for States Attorney Theroux. Well, back in 2002, 3, 4, and 5, they sold a lot of property to brown people of brown descent, because in Governor O'Malley's last days in office, he went over to Pakistan and India. He made relationships with tech companies, with pharmaceutical companies. He brought back that opioid crisis that you're experiencing now. Governor O'Malley brought that shit back here in 2006. His last days in office. Now you can contact Thorough. Thorough hooked up with DeRay McKenzie. So them $6,000 donations that he been getting, He been getting them from DeRay McKenzie's people and his people. When Brown made that relationship, when Governor O'Malley made that relationship with the Middle Eastern people, the people of color, the brown people, Pakistanians, the Indians, he also brought their money here. And their money, they got plenty of money. They started opening up Dunkin' Donuts. They started having 7-Elevens. They started having gas stations. And they didn't have to pay a lot of taxes. Governor O'Malley and Peter Francott worked that out because it was bringing money to the city. He did that biopark up on Baltimore Street, where you doing a biopark on the other side of Martin Luther King, on the outside. Yeah, that development, that growth and development is not including black people. When he put up them apartments and shit, that water problems that y'all had over there in the projects was because you got too much pressure on the pipes. Your infrastructure's fucked up. Told y'all about that in 2006 when I started this. See, the toilets took a backup. They blow shit out. That's why I use the toilet. Theroux getting a lot of money from white people, and Fox 45 is pushing Theroux. Y'all trying to get him in, and then y'all gonna go straight to zero tolerance and stop and frisk. If you get Theroux in, y'all gonna just lock up black people just for being black. That's why I want a federal and a state audit. If you give me a federal and a state audit now, half the people running for office is gonna go to jail. I told y'all about Mayor Pugh long time ago. I told y'all about Glenn long time ago. But y'all won't go after Bobby Zirkin. Y'all giving white people a pass. You won't go after Bobby Zirkin. You won't go after Scott Shellenberger because that's your golden child. But Scott Shellenberger is your weakest link. Governor Hogan said he got an accountability act. That accountability act gonna go about Scott Shellenberger. Johnny Oleski has an ethics office. It's gonna go about Scott Shellenberger. Y'all can't sit here and claim y'all got transparency and y'all permitting this shit to go on. I want Shellenberger's job. The same way that they had Nafong and Nafong got disbarred for filing false charges against the Duke lacrosse team, I want Shellenberger charged too. Johnny Oleski got this. The Department of Justice got this. I got a case filed. You locked up a whistleblower. That's against the law. So the same thing make you laugh, gonna make you cry. 2020, I'm getting ready to set up a podcast here in my little studio here, in my art studio. I got a couple people. We're getting ready to do the Baltimore block live. So we're gonna play all these tapes. We're gonna play all these SIM cards, and I'm gonna break down your criminal enterprise. I'm gonna break down Branch's machine. Now you go to Andy Pierre, and I told Andy Pierre about this. You go to Karen York, Nicole Mundo, Catalina Bird, they seen me hand deliver my request to approach the grand jury to Marilyn Mosby 4 years ago. I got it on film. It's called Put Your Big Girl Panties On. I also gave C.D. Witherspoon a toilet because I'm going to start giving activists toilets. If y'all out here getting money and claiming to be doing stuff for the city and all y'all doing is feeding your pockets like leaders of a beautiful struggle, I'm going to start leaving toilets out about y'all. What direction are you leading us in? Because I ain't heard leaders of a beautiful struggle. I ain't heard not nan black candidate. I ain't heard nan black leader say end the war on drugs. Y'all want to make the community safe by locking up black people? No. End the war on drugs like you ended prohibition. Because if you don't, that's my whole conversation. Candidates filing fees. All right. I ran for office. I know how to run for office. I know how to run a machine. Felons have a right to vote. We trying to get ex-felons to run for office in 2020 and beyond. Streets to the seats. All right. I'm a whistleblower. That's the Department of Justice. That's my ID number. All right. I'm a whistleblower. I'm a whistleblower in the courts and the corruption in the courts, because that's where you make money at. We traded the penitentiary for the plantation cotton for cocaine, and we the cash crop. So I'm going to show you who know what and why y'all hiding. That's the Baltimore block. I'm the founding member of the Baltimore block. All right? I'm the founding member of the Baltimore block. And to dismantle a master's house, you got to use the master's tools, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm getting ready to put this into motion. The Baltimore block is getting ready to take over the airwaves. The Baltimore block is getting ready to put the block on blast. This is what the Baltimore block gonna do. All right. State Senate. All right. That's my Department of Justice number. All right. This is my, evidence for a federal investigation. And this is the Maryland Black Caucus. And these are the supporters of Shorty. Yeah. See that? No Hopkins police. That's when y'all threw me out of Annapolis. Y'all threw me out of Annapolis. But right here, it clearly states so when I come to testify, this is for the House Senate Judiciary Committee? No, that's for the state, the Senate. Yeah, that's Maryland State Senate. This is for the House. All right. We're going to talk about ethics. Talk about ethics in the Maryland Black Caucus. I came down to the Maryland Black Caucus last week and I gave y'all, first day of session, I gave y'all a breakdown of the criminal enterprise. I gave it to y'all. All right. So you do what you got to do. And I took a picture when I gave it to you and I videotaped it. Because see, the first time I did this, I did it like a quiet riot. I just did it with me, myself, and I didn't do it with nobody. I ain't gonna do it with nobody this time neither, but I'm gonna make sure I got live feeds. I don't need 1 million people to march. I need 1 million people to pay attention. They pay attention to what I'm doing. I support this bill. I support the Ethics and Accountability Bill. And while you still sitting in office, you're gonna be running from a federal investigation instead of running for Congressman Cummings' seat. You, Glenn, Zirkin, Lafferty, Broshini, everybody that had full knowledge before I got locked up, we're going to bring that shit out. Shellenberger couldn't have did what he did without cooperation. He had Chief Johnson. He had Brian Frosh. He had Doug Gansler. Yeah. He had Judge Turnbull. He had Judge Janae. He had Judge Papaya. He had Judge Souter. And he had Governor Hogan now. That's evidence. This is evidence in my testimony. All right, because y'all throw me out the state house. But I support this bill. We're going to talk about your ethics, Governor. We're going to talk about your ethics, Governor. The man in the mirror. The man in the mirror. 2020, it ain't going to be just us. I want access to the grand jury under Senate Bill 374. That's all I'm coming down to Annapolis for. I'm going to knock on your doors next week. This is going to Governor Hogan's office. This is going to Senator Ferguson's office. And this is going to Speaker Jones' office. Executive, judicial, and legislative branches of the government. We call them checks and balances. I want Scott Shellenberger disbarred. I want my $2.6 million that you owe me. The contents of my vehicle was worth $130 million. I had 13 movies, 13 storyboards, because y'all got 13 ghosts. We can do it the easy way or the hard way, but this is easy to me. It's hard to you, because when I come to these events, I'm going to mic check the room. Only thing you're going to do is put me out. If you lock me up, we go to court. We go to court. We take the cell phone to court. We take my Google account to court. We take my Twitter account to court. We take my Periscope account to court. We take my Instagram to court. We take social media to court for social change. Like I said, I applied for Martin Luther King's job. I don't need 1 million people to march. I need 1 million people to pay attention. How many are paying attention? Mic check. We're going to continue this tomorrow morning. Then I'm going to break down. You tell me what you want me to break down, and I'm going to break it down. Because we're going to put it all in the toilet. It's my birthday gift. So I'm going to start building more toilets, and I'm going to start buying more toilets, and we're going to start giving more gifts. Potty training politicians, people pay attention. We're going to see how many toilets it takes before you lock me up or I get justice. No justice, no peace. And I'm going to bring it to these streets. Like the Westboro Baptist Church, we're going to take these toilets to the Supreme Court. If you don't give me my money, if you don't take me and pay me what you owe me, I got a writ of certiorari in Judge Cox's courtroom. You got 90 days to figure out what you're going to do to me. If I don't get my money in the 90 days, by the end of session, then Judge Cox is going to take my shit to the Supreme Court. I'm filing my shit to the Supreme Court. Chief Justice Roberts already told me what to do. Under Article 3 of the Constitution, I can approach the Supreme Court under a meritorious case. Locking me up and charging me with terrorism and taking my property is a meritorious case. You charge me with terrorism January 31st, December 31st, 2007, December the 24th, and February the 7th. I was kidnapped by the state because I want to expose the war on drugs and the money that y'all make off the war on drugs. Y'all ain't trying to make the community safe. You're trying to use that fear because that fear generates money. That's where Theroux got all his money from that fear. Make sure you do your work, research about me. Google State of Illinois versus Dwayne Davis. It's a precedent-setting case. I fired my lawyer and defended myself. This ain't my first day on the playground. Contact Todd Yeary. Contact Brian Frosh. Contact Marilyn Mosby. Contact Malcolm Ruff. Contact Dwight Pettit. Contact Warren Brown. J. Wendell Gordon. Richard Scher. Mary Mubala. Matter of fact, go straight to Kai Jackson. Y'all having an event on January 23rd. Kai Jackson got a whole breakdown of the prison industry and the corruption in Maryland. You asked for the corruption, I gave it to him. I put it on your doorsteps. When you have your event on the 23rd, I'm going to mic check the room and I'm going to shut that shit down. Watch how I play this game. Lock me up. I get to go to court. I go to court, I get a jury trial. I get a jury trial, Shellenberger going to jail. Shellenberger go to jail, he going to snitch on the rest of you white motherfuckers. Shellenberger going to snitch because he ain't built for jail. Jail built for him. Believe that.